I just walk in the argument too one-way, why you mad? Girl, why you a sick? I do not want that. Came home to you only, you stuck like glue. If I caught that Hellcat, girl, you get one too. For me and you, I want you, I love you. Can I touch you? I rub, let me love you. Put my dreams to the side only cause I trust you. Girl, I trust you, I love you, won't judge you.
What's going on? Sevelosity coming back to talk about the Nuggets and the Suns. Game 3 just happened the other day. We had the Suns take Game 3 in Phoenix, 114 to 121. Devin Booker with another phenomenal night. One of my favorite players in the NBA. Had 47 points, shot 20 of 25. And then Kevin Durant also had 39 points. So big games from both of them. I just want to say everyone else on the Suns had less than 10 points. And then I also wanted to throw a shout out to the man who lost. Well, both him and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray shot 32 points, 13 of 29. And then Jokic was 11 of 19, 17 rebounds, 17 assists, and 30 points. Another close game, really good series so far. The Nuggets looked out of this world versus the Suns the first two games, but the Suns look like they finally got some life. I did notice that they kind of started relying more on Mr. Cameron Payne, if I'm not mistaken, as well as Cameron Payne, and then noticed that, other than that, just double checking the stat line from the game that we watched. Yeah, Cameron Payne played very well. Durant also had 8 assists, and then Devin Booker had 9 assists himself. Big game. I will give a shout out to Kevin Durant, but I will say he also shot 31 shots and made 12 of them. So lots of volume for Mr. Durant. But I will, as much as I hate the man, I will give Devin Booker credit. He has been on fire in the playoffs, and specifically, I would probably go as far as to say that he's probably top 2 to 3 right now in terms of playoff performances. Originally, Jimmy Butler was in that conversation. I think that with the second round and how he started, I think he's still in the top 5, but I wouldn't put him in the top 3. I'd probably put Devin Booker, probably Jokic, and I would probably consider James Harden at this point too, because he's had 2 40-point games in the last 3. But absolutely spectacular playoffs so far. And then I think we've gotten I think Jamal Murray is finally getting the credit that he deserves. He said it himself. He said he deserves more respect. He thought that he's earned enough once he returned. He's been putting up almost 30 points a game in this series, and he's been a clear star on the court between him, Durant, Booker, and Jokic. So I think that he fits in with the rest of them. I think that DeAndre Ayton is still needs to work on his game a bit. I think that Jokic is kind of eating him alive down low. The Nuggets keep winning every rebounding fight. However, this is the first game that the Nuggets, I believe, out-rebounded them and lost. But I think it's only because they had a terrible shooting percentage. I believe Aaron Gordon was 3 of 13. He was averaging 20 points a game. I think he put up like 5 points. Jokic played well. Murray played well, but the rest of the team was a little bit lackluster. I believe they shot 42%? 42 or 43. And then I think the Suns shot over 50%. But I think the big thing is the Nuggets need to stick to the rebounding, and they need to find open shooters. Keep feeding the ball to Jokic. Jokic keep distributing it. But you got to get more consistency from the rest of your team. And then with the Suns, you have to rely on Durant and Booker. I don't think there's anyone else on that team that you could really rely on. I think, especially like I said with Ayton going against Jokic, I don't think that's a really good matchup. I think that you have to just feed it to your forward and your guard. Keep having them shoot and play the mid-range and three-point line if you're the Suns. All you. Sorry.
All right, I'm just gonna throw one more name out there for Denver that I think you missed. Michael Porter Jr. had a good game. He had 21 points and 12 rebounds. He shot let's see, 7 for 40, 50% for the
Dude,
field, and 6 for 10 from three.
he's
So
gotten.
he had a good year.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I was gonna say he's been getting a lot of rebounds for the Nuggets too in this series. Um,
Yeah, so yeah, I mean their big three showed up in Denver. I mean, it was a 7 point differential. The difference was that each of them, they respectively pulled their weight, and still like was getting like the rest of the team like involved somewhat. Versus Phoenix, it was a straight up Durant and Booker show.
yeah,
Because I think they literally saw they really don't have a supporting cast to compete with these Nuggets the past 2 games. While Booker was getting his points, Durant to an extent too. They were still like kind of trying to set their other guys up a bit, but that wasn't winning it. So, as you said, Durant shot 31 shots this game, which isn't something he would normally do. You know what that means? There's a sense of urgency. Their best bet is for them to keep shooting, and specifically in this game in particular. I don't know if you noticed how much Durant and Booker, like every play when they, especially on the fast breaks, when they get the ball down court, they've been attacking the basket, like getting it in the teeth of the defense. And I think Booker, to me, he's honestly improved as an inside finisher. Like I never really looked at him as like a great inside finisher before. Like I always saw him as like a great mid-range shooter, excellent three-point shooter, and pretty good inside. But the aggression that I saw like was really impressive. And like these guys when they get to the free throw line, they don't miss free throws.
it,
So um yeah, it was a lot for the opposing team defense to contain. So and what's interesting too, they were kind of taking turns doing it. Like, 'cause naturally, at some point, the double teams like start to come at one of them. And once that happens, the other one starts like consecutive plays, like just going in straight attack mode. And yeah, I think that's what they're gonna have to do. Because especially with Chris Paul gone, they don't have like a true playmaker to like really elevate the play of the role players. And we know that's definitely something that DeAndre Ayton will rely on. So right now, we need Kevin Durant and Devin Booker every night to pretty much combine for like 80 points for
it's
them to win this
interesting.
series.
It's interesting too because when you look back at what the Suns had, back when they were in the finals with against the Bucks, you had I know you didn't have Durant, but you had so many different like assets to look towards, and especially having like McCall Bridges, who's now played the most consecutive games I think in the NBA, and so there was plenty of consistency. He was on the court every game, and then you had guys like Jay Crowder, whether he was coming off first off the bench or he was one of your starting guys. Wasn't necessarily your best rebounder, but he was a pretty good defender. And now you have all of these guys who are, I don't know, no disrespect to him, but you have guys like Shamit who are getting a lot of minutes now, and that is not someone necessarily that you want to rely on in the playoff game. So
Yeah.
the Suns versus the Nuggets kind of reminds me a little bit of and the Suns team's a lot different, but the Nuggets kind of remind me a little bit of like what the Bucks have, just because I think Giannis and Jokic are both a little bit similar, where they like to distribute, but they're going to score a lot of points and get a lot of rebounds. But you have like a Michael Porter Jr. who can kind of be on almost a similar level of talent to someone like a Chris Middleton, and then you have Drew Holiday was there, and then you have Jamal Murray here, who's even better than Drew Holiday. And then you have guys like Aaron Gordon, who's a top tier defender, and he's giving you 15 points a game. The team's deep, so they're playing two different styles of basketball. One team's solely going to have to rely on their stars, and then the other team's got plenty of pieces to work around with. So I think the Nuggets got to utilize their bench a bit. I mean, keep your stars in, but utilize your rotation, keep guys fresh, and then the Suns have got to find some comfort to give Durant at least a little bit of rest and Devin Booker a little bit of rest. Like, keep letting him shoot 30 shots a game, but like you got to find at least someone who's able, a unit that's able to play really good defense, so at least one of them can get a couple minutes on the bench. Because I mean, Durant's mid 30s. You can't just you cannot ask for him to shoot 35, 40 shots every single game like that. That is not ideal. And
Hey, and guess what? He's never been asked to do it before in his career, so now first time for anything. Let's see if he's capable of it.
It reminds me of when the Nets played the Bucks and he had to shoot almost every shot. And he had like 55, and then
But but
his
here's the
foe's on the
difference.
line.
But he has Devin Booker by his side, who's
He
been
does.
outscoring him actually. So
He
it's not so
yeah.
the weight's not really on his shoulders.
Would you say since Steph Curry outside Devin Booker's been the best star that Durant's had alongside of him in terms of performance? So like between him, Kyrie, and
Ever,
James Harden.
ever. Wait, you said ever since Steph Curry?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
because I was
Since,
gonna
not
say
including Steph.
I know a lot of people. I mean, some people are gonna like this, but I don't care because this man has been gotten slandered for a majority of his career at this point. Devin Booker is not better than Russell Westbrook was. He's not better than Russell Westbrook was. Like, for, I mean, all I can say is they have gone to an NBA Finals together. They were Game 7 away from the NBA Finals in 2016 against the Warriors that were 73-9 this season. In fact, Westbrook was a very big reason why they were up in the series as well.
I
So
I mean, like
he's not better.
the biggest thing I preach is consistency, and I think Russ right now has the higher prime, but
Yeah.
Devin Booker's been building on consistency. So if he's able to consistently be a high tier scorer and he continues to do more stuff, I could maybe make an argument. But also in terms of physicality too, I mean, no one's more physical than Russ was in his prime. So
I'm also gonna say this: we've seen Russell Westbrook without Durant. He won. Not only did he win league MVP, he also brought the team to the playoffs. Devin Booker never sniffed the playoffs before Chris Paul
yeah,
joined the Phoenix Suns.
I just want I know a lot of people want to see the Suns versus the Warriors or Lakers, whichever team wins. They just don't want to see the Nuggets win. I'm just saying that I am genuinely concerned if the Suns make it through this round because I think out of every team that's left in the playoffs, they have by far the worst bench in the NBA. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think they can hold up to any of the teams left moving forward. So I think that the
hmm
Lakers would do really well against them, and I think that I think the Warriors would do really well against them. I think the Warriors would probably struggle a little bit more, but the Lakers I think would be just fine. Um, so I'd like to see Nuggets versus the Lakers. That's all I'm saying. Just throwing that out there. As much as I like Durant, Durant should
Um,
go to Denver, is what you should do, and play with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Sorry, go ahead.
all I'm gonna say is this: I am calling which game is that's about to come up for them. Let me give me 1 second. Game 4. The Suns are winning Game 4, and the series is getting tied up. The Suns and Nuggets are going to a Game 7. I'm calling it from now. I don't know who I personally pick it to win. I think it could go either way. But while the Denver Nuggets definitely look stronger, I think a big part of it is this: we're expecting more from the Suns, and they're like kind of failing our expectations. Like we expected them to like kind of wait in a way almost somewhat be clear favorites against Denver, but I don't see them just going out easily. I
The
think the series can go either way.
I think it's going to be interesting because you look at Durant shooting 12 to 31. Let's say he does, he probably will shoot close to that again, like the same amount of shots. He's likely to do better than that, 30%. However, I think Devin Booker, there's almost no way you could do any better than you did in that last game. You had 47 points, 8 or 9 assists, and you shot 20 of 25. There is no way that you're going to be able to do that on a consistent basis. You could probably prove me wrong, prove me wrong. But I'm just saying that it took them doing that to keep one of these games close because both those other games for almost 15 20 point differentials at multiple points during those games. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it took that much to get them to that. I think that the Nuggets are going to win in Phoenix tonight, and I think that the Suns are going to have Durant show out his 40 to 50 points in Denver and take Game 5, and then it's going to go back to Game 6 in Phoenix, and it's going to be really interesting. 3-2 series lead going into Phoenix.
Right. Right,
Uh,
that's what we got. I got the 2-2 going to Phoenix. Evan got 3-2. 3-1, I mean.
So it's either the Suns are either gonna get eliminated in Phoenix or it's gonna be a Game 7 in Denver.
Game 7 in Denver. That's what I'm rolling with.
You got anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's all. Everyone, I hope you're enjoying the NBA playoffs just as much as us. Please just go like, comment, subscribe, spread the word. Like, we want as many viewers as possible. We want like some engagement. Like, our friends that are out there, feel free if you disagree with us to slide into DMs and just attack us. We'll never take it personally. Like, we know it's in the realm of hoops. Like,
Yeah.
flame us or
Yeah.
agree with us because, we're spewing expertise, or at least I am. That's
Yeah, happy to engage, and I think that this is one of those finals one of those playoffs where I think that whether everyone was a full participant in the regular season or not, this is by far one of the most entertaining playoffs we've had in the last couple of years, just because there is no definitive favorite to go to the finals right now.
Mhm.
So without further ado, I hope that everyone has a great rest of your week. Enjoy the basketball games. If you're watching anything else, enjoy the hockey. Baseball's a little bit rough, especially if you're a Yankees or Mets fan. Any New York fan, sorry. But, check in on some basketball, especially if you don't watch as much. It's been really good. The games have been top tier, especially this year. And hopefully the Heat lose and the Knicks take Game 4, and we will see you reacting to that next time. So have a good rest of your day.
Jazz.
To me and you, I want you, I love you. Can I touch you, I rub, let me love you. Put my dreams to the side only cause I trust you. Girl, I trust you, I love you, won't judge you.